Thank you for joining My Wellness Network, and we have a special guest today, Anne, and she's going to talk about Akashic Records. And would you like to tell us a little bit about what is Akashic Records? Because I don't think a lot of people are familiar with it.
Yeah, I think you're right about that. Well, a lot of faith communities refer to the Book of Life. And the Akashic Records is the Book of Life, but it's much more than just a list of names. The Akashic Records is really like the cosmic library of all information. So about people, about animals, about Mother Earth herself, and it all goes there. And so one of the things about the Akashic Records is that's taught me is that we have an infinite number of possibilities. So people always say, tell me about my future. And what I tell them is it all depends on what you're doing today, because the decisions that we make today decides which path we're going to take down the road. So
because we all have free will.
We all have free will.
And every second we're making different decisions.
That's right.
That will change that outcome.
Absolutely.
So do you close your eyes and you can actually see and visualize, or do you actually see like we see?
Sure.
How does that work?
So when I'm giving an Akashic Records reading to somebody, I ask for their legal name, and then I say a sacred prayer that includes their legal name. And I have to repeat it 3 times. And honestly, everybody has a different experience. My experience with the records is that the first time I say the prayer is like the light comes on. There's bright light. And the second time I say the prayer, I'm on the welcome mat. And the third time I say the prayer, I see what looks like rows, stacks of books, but really they're made of light. And then sometimes I see the masters and teachers, and they're standing there, and they look like they're wearing what I would call those college or university black gowns with stoles on them. That's what they look like to me. So everybody's experience is different, and then when I see them and I know, oh, okay, I'm in, and I ask the question, are Lori's records open? And they tell me yes or no, and it's always yes.
So what are the benefits of getting a reading, or to know? Like if you have just like one burning, dying question about relationships or this person's best interest in my life or career path, that you can ask them?
Yeah, what I like about the keepers, that's what we call the masters and the teachers, is that they really want to get to the heart of the issue and clear up all of the our mistaken beliefs and things that we have about that issue. So I'll give you an example. My mentor, she wanted to know about why is it that she's really focused on having a clean floor all the time. And so, because I was practicing with her, I went in and asked the records about that, asked the keepers about that. And they said, well, in a past life, she was a nun and she was like 15, and it was her responsibility to clean the floor every day. So that's just a mild story, and it just shows how everything that we learn through our many lifetimes can affect us, sometimes positively, sometimes neutrally, like that story, and sometimes not so positively.
Great. And how did you get interested in this, and can someone else learn, or do you teach people? Can everybody have the ability?
Everybody actually has access to the records, but not everybody is at the point where they're at a vibration that they can enter the records. So I got interested in this partly because my natural energy is always to teach people. I don't know how to stop that, and I've never even been a teacher in a school or anything, but that's kind of my energy. And when I heard about the records and I had a reading, I just knew that it was for me. Once I started doing it, I thought, well, it's like breathing. It feels so good to me. So I want to keep going.
That would be really interesting. So you actually have some workshops coming up, and people can meet with you privately and get some information, and then you could tell them the records say this might be something interesting for you to study.
There you go. So we've got several things coming up. On the 19th, which is a Thursday night of this month, in a private home in Kahala, we're going to be doing what I call group Akashic Records readings. And so it's best if you bring your buddies, bring your friends, and then everybody, has a question to ask. Sometimes, Sylvia Brown, maybe she'll just see the energy coming through, and then she'll talk, and then a person will say, oh, that's me. I don't do it that way. I just have people ask me questions, and then I ask the records, and I don't edit it, and I just give
Ooh,
you what they
that
get.
would be interesting. See,
Right.
so you never know what's coming out.
I never know what's coming. And believe it or not, sometimes they actually swear because they know that that person swears and that they could receive it better if they hear it in that kind of form.
So you do so they can contact you and do private
Yes.
one-on-one sessions or ask questions.
Yes. So this particular group is Thursday night the 19th, and it's $30, and there's going to be tea and dessert there, and it's going to be 2 hours, and it's a lot of fun because you never know what's going to come through. So we're laughing, sometimes we're crying, everything comes through, and sometimes there's some teaching. During the course of doing this, sometimes I've actually removed entities from people and done some healings on people. So that's why I love it, because it's never the same thing twice.
And if they do a one-on-one session with you, like an hour, that would be a lot of information.
That's a lot of information. And a lot of times what we do is we drill down into one particular thing, so either it's always romance or money. I mean, that's really what it comes down to for everybody, romance or money. So we'll start with one, and they might say, why is it that, my relationship never work out? And through that whole hour, we might get some past life information. We might get a relative coming through and saying, oh, you don't remember this, but this is what happened when you were a kid, and it impacted the whole family. And then there's a certain way to ask questions that you get better results with those specific questions, because that's how we drill down. So it's really, I don't know, it's fascinating. I love it.
Very interesting. So how do they get in touch with you? Do you have a website?
I do. My website is soul, SOUL, 2, source, SOURCE.com. My phone number is 808-927-0015, and email my name is A.M. like Marie, and then my last name, Patrykus, PATRYKUS, @gmail.com. So.
Yeah, so it's a Greek name, not a Hawaiian.
It is Greek.
Yes.
It is Greek, yes.
And you're also in the Hawaii Wellness Directory.
Yes, I am. Yay!
So HawaiiWellnessMagazine.com.
Yes. So the most recent magazine too.
Yes. Well, great. Well, so get in touch with you. You have group readings.
Mm-hmm.
You have private sessions. You have workshops coming up. So anything you want to know about Akashic Records.
There you go. I am actually doing Akashic Records training. And all of that is, I'm still waiting for confirmation on the venue, but we'll be hearing more about that too.
So we just get headsets and
Amen.
like a walkie-talkie.
Sure.
Okay.
All right. Thank you so much, Lori.
Bye.